Okay, at first, so I'm gonna read the Ten Commandments, and it says, "Honor your father and thy mother." So my first question is, for a father and probably and a child, what does it mean to honor your father and your mother? So as she said it's to obey them. So in a father's perspective, what does it mean for a child to obey you? Honor you.
Father, in a father's perspective, where is the father?
The question is, what does it mean for a child to respect you and honor you? Yes. Okay, so then from a child's perspective, what does it mean for you to honor and respect your parents?
Obedience.
Yeah, that's for a father. Well, what is it for a child? Okay,
It's a command that you have to do as a child.
okay. Somebody's raising their hand to answer the question.
To a father, it means a lot for his child to respect him. In our language, we say when you respect the king, that shows that you're going to be a king. And when you respect your father, let's use father go together, his father it entails respecting your mother too, because there will be no father without mother. I look at two of them as one piece. Now, as a kid, when you respect your father, that shows your father that your future will be guaranteed. If you don't respect your father, it is written all over your body that you're not going to respect your teacher. You're not going to respect your professor. You're not going to respect people in your family. You're not going to respect people in your community. You're not going to respect people in your state. And finally, you're not going to respect people in your country. In doing all this disrespecting, that means your future is questionable. I'm a father and a good one. So, when I see my kid respecting me, it brings hope. It brings assurance to me that the children are heading towards right direction in life. God bless you.
Thank you for answering the question, and that was very correct. But Okay, so one other thing that I've never understood about a difference from a mother and a father is how come a mother gets more love and respect and honor than a father. And you might think this isn't a question that like they both get equally loved, but it's really not true because your a son or a daughter is always going to love their mother and respect their mother more than they're going to respect your father. You might not think it's good or might not think it's a good question, but it's actually really true. So can somebody please answer that question? Okay. Oh, should I? I'm gonna ask her first because she's a mother. Sorry. Okay, so.
I think because mothers were more nurturing.
And we're more understanding, I should say. They usually say fathers are more strict, but for me, I'm a dad, I'm a mom, I'm very strict. My kids will tell you that. So I think, I think because we're more nurturing.
Thank you. So there's two other people that wanted to answer the question. You. Oh.
I think because mothers bear you 9 months, they know the suffering. They always nurture you. They always talk to you in a low tone. But fathers is like, if you don't do this, I'm gonna kill you right now. So that's why, because if you read in the Bible, Proverbs 15 verse 1 says, when you talk to people in a low tone and with nice words, they're gonna listen. It makes you listen to those people. Therefore, that's the difference between mothers and fathers. I know when my husband gets hurt and want to kill everybody, I say, please, calm down. You are not Abacha, and you're not, Idi Amin of Uganda. And I said, take it easy, because when you take it easy, you win the soul of so many people. But with fighting, you're gonna end up messing up everybody, and the house is in a fire. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else want? Oh, he wanted to answer the question.
Thank you very much. Yeah, to answer this your question, I want to go to Proverbs chapter 31, verse 1. And I'm going to read it. It said, the words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. You see that? The prophecy that his mother taught him. Mothers are very, very important. Fathers too are very, very important. You could see this is a king here. Everybody has a role to play. But most times it's the mother that takes all the credit. Because the father is away to the farm, is away working, providing for the family. You understand? But the mother is always there.
Yeah.
He brings all the money home. He's not the one spending the money.
Not in the 21st century.
You guys are the ones spending the money. And most times, because children, they learn by examples.
It has changed.
It is practically the person that is kowtowing to all the whims and the caprices of the children that the children get to really
Clean.
bond with. But when you become a man, that is when you realize the sacrifices that your dad has really made. Because practically now you are actually living the life your dad lived. And that is why we need, as Christians, every answer that we want is in the Bible. Every example that we need, God has given us. The father as the head of the home is the one that we look up to. But the mother is the one when we cry, when we feel the pain. Because for 9 months, they actually carried it. And when they are in labor, they know it. And that is why Jacob was able to get the blessing at the expense of Isaac. So I think, praise the Lord.
Thank you. All of you guys were correct, and those were very good answers. But yes. Can a child answer the question? Because there's so many grown-ups answering the question, but can a grown-up really see what's in a? Can anybody
He said she volunteered.
For me, to honor your parent basically means that you respect them, and if they need you, you're there for them because they've been there for you. So you give them that respect because they raised you.
Thank you very much for answering the question.
To answer your last question, not many people know this, but like I haven't had my actual father in my life, but my mother saved my life when I was really young, and she's been my mother and father for a really long time. So I'll show her more love and gratitude than my stepdad, even though he has a special love for me coming into my life and taking care of me, even though I'm not his own. So my mother, she's at a very young age, she taught me what's right and what's wrong. She taught me left from right. She's gonna teach me how to drive someday. And how to cook and all those things. So it's not saying that mothers. And one of the things my mom always tells me is she carried me for 9 good months, and a man doesn't really have to go through 9 months of suffering. So they're gonna have a more special feelings and love towards their child, whether it's a boy or girl, other than, a man who doesn't really, have to go through pain and suffering for that. So the fact that she had to suffer means I'm more fragile to her than a father would be.
Thank you. Thank you so much for answering the question. Thank you for all the parents that answered the question and all the children. Um, so now I'll be reading Matthew's chapter 37, verse 1 to about verse 8, I guess. Matthew 37, chapter 37, verse 1 to 8. Can everybody please bring out their Bibles or their
No, they have
phones?
37.
Okay.
No, there's no 37. No Matthew.
Check your
You,
paper. There's no 37.
there's no 37 in Matthew.
I mean Genesis, sorry. Genesis 37,
Okay.
verse 1 to 8. Does anybody want to read or should I read?
He's doing a good job. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just reading this one.
So proud of him.
And Jacob dwelt the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generation of Jacob, Joseph being 70 years old, and feeding the flocks with brethren, and the lad was with the son of Belhet. I'm very nervous, so I'm sorry.
Okay,
And
Jason, I'll read for you, okay? From 1 to 8. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, and his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Verse 3. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. Verse 5. And Joseph dreamt a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obstinate to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. Amen?
thank you so much for reading that. So now I would like to ask like two people what Sister Caroline read, what it means. Would anyone would like to volunteer? Does anybody want to volunteer? I'll do it if you don't.
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Okay, so basically, what this means is that this father's love. He had so much love for one other sibling that all his other siblings hated that one son. But it wasn't really Joseph's fault that all his other siblings hated him. It was only because his father gave him more attention. And yes, this might feel bad, but it's not really the sibling's fault, but it kind of is, because when you give somebody more attention than somebody, But when you give somebody more things than somebody, the other person could feel a certain way, like, why would you give this person something and not me? Why would you do this to give this to me a blessing and not me? So I'm thinking the way that the siblings felt, it's not really their fault. It's more like the father's fault, but really not. So what this means is that you shouldn't be angry or feel bad or think in your mind, why is this person getting more attention and why is he not? Because one day you can get more attention than that person.
All right,
You can get more
all
blessings.
right, boy.
So thank you guys for hearing my exhortation. And I'm done today. Happy Father's Day. Bye-bye.